What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show, and today we're taking a second look at this Competition Works exhaust. Some of you who have seen that other video will know that this thing has already lost me 1 horsepower, but it's also way too loud and it doesn't sound particularly good. Luckily for me, or maybe unluckily, Competition Works sells for $35 a Baffle for this bike, and we're gonna see whether or not a simple piece of metal can save this $500 exhaust, or whether or not I need to go back to stock. You know how I know that this thing is too loud? You really want to know? My buddy has a Baffle, same year, 2013. It's got the same exhaust pipe on here. It's basically a straight pipe motorcycle, and even he said that this is obnoxious. So yeah, then I know that I'm doing something wrong. Also, it sounds like a Versus 650, and I can't tell you exactly how much I cannot abide by that. This is a Ducati, it's got a V-twin, it should not sound like a parallel twin. I'm sorry, Versus people. I gotta fix this. So to rectify this horrible atrocity, what I've done is I've spent $35 on a Baffle. And while this may sound simple, Baffles have done a lot for me with slip-on exhausts in the past, and Competition Works claims a 8 to 10% reduction in volume. And I know that doesn't sound like much, but sound is a logarithmic function, so a little change means a lot. So what we're gonna do is we're going to use a dB meter to test it pre and post install, and then we're gonna take it out on the road to see if there's any change in the way that it feels, because it doesn't really feel all that great down low, and there are a couple of spots where it's surgy. So let's dive in and see exactly how loud this little beast is. Alrighty guys, so I've got the dB meter right here, and while I'm talking, it's about 77 to 82 decibels. That's my presenting volume. I'm projecting my voice. Usually a normal conversation is round about 70 dBs. Starting this thing up is not gonna be fun, but I'm gonna sacrifice for the channel. Really wish I had earplugs. Let's see what it idles at. So right there, it peaked at 106 on startup, and then on average, it's hovering right around 103 to 101 decibels. That is a lot louder. That is 2 times as loud. It doubles for every 10 dBs. So I don't even know how the math works on that. But if I rev it up, that's 120 dBs. I'm gonna give you a little chart here so you can see exactly how loud that is. Now I'm gonna walk away and see exactly how far I need to be before it starts to be reasonably loud. All right, we're now finally below 80 decibels when I'm just standing still, when I'm not talking. I still have to project because the exhaust is very loud even at this distance. I'm about 30 feet from the bike here. This is too loud. I gotta fix this. So I'm gonna turn the bike off, let it cool down a little bit, and we're gonna install this and see if it fixes this horrible din. So the beauty of the Competition Works Baffle is it literally just goes right in the end of the exhaust. You just have to remove 3 bolts. However, it does have me a little bit concerned about whether or not this is actually going to make a difference. So I gotta pull 3 bolts out, pop this in, reinstall it, and then we get to test it out. God fucking damn it, where did that one go? That didn't hit the ground. Uh-oh. That's in my brake rotor. Oh no. I'm really hoping that bolt just falls out. There's a lot of sensitive stuff there. All right, let's put it up on the center stand. Let's see if I can find it. It's in my rear axle somewhere. There it is, yay! Found it. Okay. Take number 5. Spite fails to screw in a screw. This was way harder than it should have been. It's 3 bolts. I have no clue what I'm doing. Oh God. Alrighty, after that fun little deal losing one of the screws inside the exhaust, let's turn this thing on and see if this Baffle's actually made any bit of a difference. While I'm just talking, it's hovering in the same spot, right around 80 to 85 dB. So let's turn this thing on. So peak at startup was 101 decibels, and then at idle, it's actually hovering between 97 and 99. So we've lost a few, but not much. I was actually hoping for more. Let's rev it up. Okay, that wasn't great. So I was really hoping to see this about 110. We were hovering at a peak at 117 and between 117 and 115 for the revs. Let's walk and see how far away I gotta get from the bike before it's quiet. So right here we're at 82 dB. This is about maybe 15 feet from the bike, so I was way back there before. This is an improvement, but the only way to know for sure is actually gonna be taking this thing out on the road, because it's still pretty darn loud, and I'm kind of at my wit's end with this exhaust. If it doesn't sound any better, I'm gonna go ahead and put the stock pipe back on here. Would be a real shame. But before we hit the road, a quick word from today's sponsor. Who among you has yet to hear the good word of our Lord and Savior? No, wait, don't skip ahead. I'm not trying to sell you a lifetime subscription to After Life's R Us. I'm just trying to make your ride better. QuadLock has all the tools you need to make your phone as comfy as you are on your ride. You're probably already up to speed on their handlebar mounts and phone cases, which is what put them on the map in the first place, but they have a ton of accessories to take it to the next level. Whether it's their waterproof poncho to protect your phone in the rain, a wireless charger mount to keep your phone topped off even when you can't plug in, or their new 12-volt adapter that automatically turns itself off so you don't drain your bike's battery, to the simple stuff like sport rings and their mag ring. There's a whole bunch of accessories. It's kind of like Pokemon. If you want to be the very best, like no one ever was, you're gonna need to catch them all. Check out their entire line of products by clicking that link down in the description below, and now let's get out there and see if this Baffle actually made a difference on the road.
Well, remember that Baffle I mentioned? It's right there. So basically running the exact same slip-on, just with an engine slightly larger. We are actually out here on the Twisted Sisters. I literally put this Baffle in right before I hit the road, and I figured, you know what, why not go overkill with this test? And so we're out here, and I've got some interesting facts to share about this pipe. So the biggest thing that I'm happy to report is that it has done a lot to change the character of the sound out of the bike. It doesn't have the piercing high end anymore, and that piercing high end was really what made it sound a little bit parallel twinny. This definitely has a lot more grumble to it, which I appreciate. I really like that. In terms of overall volume, it's actually done a lot while I'm on just like steady, even throttle. It's not nearly as just wall of soundy. It was just obnoxious how loud it was when you were just cruising. Now it's actually fairly livable, honestly. In terms of doing anything for the fueling, nothing has changed. This exhaust was already extremely free-flowing, so an 8 to 10% restriction isn't going to do anything. So the next step in this journey is definitely going to be a tuning solution, which is actually kind of fun. It's really nice to be able to take this in steps and feel out exactly what is making the biggest changes. And I am starting to enjoy the sound a little bit more. It's just got this more Italian character. It doesn't just sound like noise. It sounds a little bit more sophisticated. It's still very loud, and I may yet change this exhaust, but in the short term, the Baffle actually did quite a bit. Now, I am going to admonish Competition Works here just a little bit. This Baffle did not cost $35 to make. It did not cost $10 to make. It did not cost $5 to make. It's just a little bit of stainless steel with a bunch of holes punched into it. The fact that it did not come with the exhaust is a real shame. There's no reason why I needed to buy it extra. You're not saving any cash. So, you know, I really would have liked to have seen this in the package. One thing that is nice though is it's very easy to remove. It's just 3 bolts on the outside, and you barely need to do any work, and you don't have to take the exhaust off. A lot of baffles that I've seen are actually they're inside the slip-on, and the slip-on is above a link pipe. So to get the baffle out, you have to actually go into the you have to take the can off, you have to remove it from the bottom end. I know that's how Delcavic does it. It's very effective. Those make for very, very effective baffles that do a great job in changing the character of the sound and actually quieting it down if that's your goal. So that's super cool, but it's a pain in the ass to get to. So really what I would like to have seen is just more of a baffle here. It's only about halfway down the pipe. We could have gotten a little bit more restriction, a little bit better tone, I think, and less just overall volume. But this is not the dramatic failure that I was expecting it to be. I was really not expecting this baffle to do much. I rode the ride in yesterday, ended up taking about 8 hours in the rain, which was a ton of fun. We had a guy run out of gas. I almost ran out of gas. It was a disaster. And if this pipe was as loud as it was before, I would have hated my life. So this has been a solid, solid improvement. And I would recommend, if you're putting an exhaust on your bike, keep that baffle around. There's no point to throw it out. Even if you don't like it, just keep it on a shelf. If you're going on a trip, putting the baffle in your bike makes your bike so much more livable. Now the next step in this journey is going to be a tuning solution. So if you would like to see the difference between, say, a piggyback tune and a flash, let me know. That could actually be a really fun video. And with that, I'm going to wrap things up here. A huge shout out to Quad Lock for sponsoring this video. As you can see, the bike is decked out in Quad Lock gear. I've got the handlebar mount here, and I've got the 12-volt charger, which I bought with my own cashy money, and I really like it. It's just as good as anything I've felt on a premium ADV bike. And it's not always on, which is awesome, unless you choose it to be always on. So if you want to get any of that, any more information, links are down in the description below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. See you later.